It's football o'clock, friends. Celebrate Buckeye Game Day. This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. Key Bank opens doors.
Along with former Buckeyes DeVier, Posey, and Dane Sanzenbacher, here's Matty Ice.
Oh, good morning. Good morning, Buckeye Nation. Welcome into the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. I'm Matty Ice, and I got my dogs with me today. I got two former Buckeye wide receivers in the building, DeVier, Posey, Dane Sanzenbacher. Fellas, we are back outside. The sun is shining. Conference play is rolling. One in the books last week on the road, and one this week inside the shoe. Dane, we missed you last week, man. How's life been?
It's good. That was my favorite show of the week.
Dane, where were you?
I was in Fort Wayne, visiting some family. Well, wife's family.
That sounds fun.
Fort Fun, man. That's what they call it. You haven't heard? I'll take you out there sometime.
I'll go.
Depot, how's the week been, my man? How we doing?
Man, it's been awesome. It's been a crazy, hectic week. My wife was out of town from Monday to Thursday. Then I had wedding duties last night. You're looking at the first free moment to myself right now, this morning, this week. I'm having fun today.
And now you get to kick it with us.
Yeah, bro.
Now you get to kick it with us in Buckeye Nation.
I love my family, but I love Buckeye football, and I love some free time.
Okay,
I love that this is your free moment.
Right.
I thought he was going to say I love Buckeye football more, and I was going to say don't say that. That was going to get you in trouble. I thought you were going to go there, but you
at
didn't.
one point in my life, I probably did.
No kids, no wife. You were dedicated to the craft, man. You were dedicated to the craft, fellas. We should be getting some great weather today. This is for me, just as a sports fan in general.
Yeah.
Zooming out from college football specifically, this is my favorite window in time of life. The weather's changing.
Yes.
We're getting to that fall air just a little bit. You look at college football. You look at the NFL, Major League Baseball playoffs, the NBA rolling, Thanksgiving around the corner. For me,
yes, sir.
It doesn't get much better than this. This is peak Matty Ice season right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
The sports equinox season.
No
I mean,
question.
this is as good as we have to offer, though, in the Midwest. Like, this is the time of year when we are the envy of the nation.
Yeah.
Like, everybody wants that Midwest weather, like this feel right now, and then you add in all the football, and plus we're in Central Ohio.
Yes.
I mean, this is our time.
No doubt about it, man. Depot, I know you're a fan of fall weather, man. I know you can't wait for this.
This is hands down my favorite part of the season, of the year. This season, I love the jackets. I love going outside.
The Blue Jackets or the coats you wear?
Come on, Dane. You know it's all about the flair.
Oh, okay.
You know it's all about
I'm
the flair.
clarifying for our fans. That was the fans.
No,
man.
It's all about the hoodies. It's all about the flannels. It's all about the sweats. It's all about the sweatsuit matching. It's all about wearing hoodies and shorts. And then I always like trying to balance, like, all right, is this a day that I wear long sleeves and pants and then I be prepared to be hotter?
Yeah.
Or is this a day that I come warm and be ready for the night to get cold? So I like that balance. I love the fall. I don't know today. Today is up in the air. I've came prepared for both, scenarios. So I love the fall, man.
Yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing. It absolutely is a beautiful thing. One thing I couldn't wait to chop it up with you guys about is what's coming next week in the mindset that it takes as players, coaches, everybody in that building to not do the look ahead. I mean, we talk about that as media people all the time with, you don't want to overlook an opponent with the big game on deck. Take us inside the mindset of players now knowing that, yes, what's in front of us is very important with Iowa coming in a conference game. But next week, arguably the most talked about and anticipated game of the entire regular season is just a handful of days away. Dane, what is that like as a player? What are these guys going through and been going through this week to not get distracted looking ahead to Oregon?
You do hear that a lot in the media. I never felt as a player that it was a problem of look ahead. Yeah. I really didn't. I think it's more what it comes down to is it's a feel in the locker room and in the facility, and that's something that the coaches have to actively make sure they keep up. As a player, I mean, you're so focused looking at what's right in front of you, and not even the game you have. Like, you're thinking about, all right, what's next in my preparation for today's game? Whatever. We're doing the walk. Okay, what's next? Warm-up. How do I want to do warm-up? They're not thinking a thing about Oregon.
No.
So it's more of like, it's more of the overall energy. And how you create that, I don't know, all teams are different. But it's like keeping that energy in the building that this one still really, really matters. But I think it falls a lot on the coaches as much as anybody.
Did you feel the same way, Depot?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, yes, you had games circled on your calendar, but at the same time, I was always, like Dane saying, you're thinking about warm-ups. I'm more worried, like, okay, like, let's make sure this little nick and bruise, if it's kind of bothering me this week, let's get ahead of it. And then, I mean, I played with Dane, and he's going to laugh, but it's like, all right, if we're playing this team this week, and Iowa normally plays cover 2, I'm not getting any passes. I can't wait to play against Oregon because they're probably gonna play man.
Right.
You know, it's like so I'm gonna be outside releasing for Dane.
So DeVier's mind drifts towards his wristbands.
I'm thinking about what I'm wearing. I'm thinking about, all right, how many targets am I getting today?
Yeah.
All right, like
I'm gonna be taking top off the coverage.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing mandatory outside releases today. Like, you know, I'm gonna get dirty in the run game because we're running the hell out of the ball with Boom. TP's running that ball. You know, it's just
not my day.
I'm not thinking about Oregon. I'm just like, man, like, how many targets am I getting today? Yeah. So, no, it's no way to look ahead.
Okay.
And, but you have big games that you're excited for. Absolutely. You're like, man, like, when this game comes, like, I'm going to make sure I go get those cleats for that game because it's going to be a national thing. You know, you're thinking about that, but that's it, really.
No, it's good. It's a good breakdown from you guys because it does seem like it's something that is overblown just a little bit, and you guys are essentially saying you got to be where your feet are.
Well, it's almost like the whole trap game always being seen as the one before the big one. A trap game could really be anywhere. It's whenever your energy lulled and you weren't paying attention to what was in front of you. It could be the game after the Oregon game, or it could be mid-season that you're just like, we didn't bring it today because this seemed like a miserable place to play, or the weather's crap, or we're just not feeling it. And as a whole, you're like somebody's injured or whatever, and the vibe just went down. Not necessarily the look ahead because there's way too much going on in your day-to-day and through the week that you're like, these guys aren't like, man, I wonder what Oregon's going to do in this situation.
Yeah, nobody in the locker room is like, I don't feel like playing against this team. Like, everybody is like, I'm going to, like, even on the far extreme, it's like, I'm about to go crazy today. Like, so there might even be over-prepared for a game before an Oregon game because it's like, I want to kind of boost my stats, right, against a team that people might think we're overlooking. But it's like, I mean, who was that we played where Dane had 4 tutties?
Eastern,
and it was like a game that was like mid-season, and it was one of those things to where you think about it like, do I even feel like playing in this game? They went crazy that game. So it's like,
and it's in the record books now, so glad I felt like saying that.
Yeah, right.
Like, they were all about 6-yard touchdowns, but
and I think we were like going, like, we had a Big Ten game the next week. Like, we might have been going to Iowa or something like that, or like going on the road somewhere. It was weird in the season. It wasn't in the beginning of the year.
And I'll say too, Iowa's definitely not the one you do it to.
No.
Because that's another thing, too. Like,
not.
there's trap games, there's ones that you're not up for, but regardless of how you feel Iowa is, that's an old-school Big Ten opponent, and that's one that has many times spoiled Ohio State, so that's just not the one.
No, I think it's a great point because I think both psychologically and physically this is a good test going into Oregon. What you want to check those boxes off, right, as far as, hey, do we want to throw new plays out there? Are we really ready mentally and physically? I think Iowa absolutely can present that. It's a little bit of a challenge for Ohio State. Quickly, I want to get your thoughts on last week. They go up to East Lansing, handle business 38-7. What was one of your big takeaways on the road a week ago?
I like how the defense firmed up, man. The most important thing for me is when the defense needed to make a play, when it was time to get physical, when we kind of felt like Jim Knowles was looking in the mirror a little bit. He had that kind of like over self-analysis kind of going on where he was like, I remember my first year I was too aggressive, but I didn't have the players, or I didn't have the maturity or the knowledge of the playbook, and I got burned by Michigan. I got burned by big plays, right? Like, those big plays hurt us. Yeah. And then last year he kind of went to a more relaxed type of style. Guys played safe. He really wasn't over blitzing. But I think last week he realized and had to look in the mirror like, oh, wow, I can take the same mindset I had my first year. These guys have been in Ransom, Burke, Sawyer, JTT. They've been in the system for 3 years now. Like, they understand my concepts. They understand what I'm trying to do. We can be aggressive. And I think he kind of respected Childs too much. And then he kind of was like, hey, all right, we're pinning our ears back. We're going to get these guys.
That's good stuff, Dane. What was the takeaway from you?
Yeah, same thing. I think that it was good to get their first test. The first time things didn't go perfectly smooth. And obviously Michigan State moved the ball, but there was 2 red zone attempts at least where they ended up turning it over or getting stuffed on 4th down. So there was a little bit of that, bend but don't break. But I just like to see you got to get on the road and you saw a game that didn't go perfectly. And now you've seen it, you've handled it, and you can move on.
Face some resilience. I think that's absolutely right. Where you had to have Devin Brown come in for a moment in time. You guys are hitting at the defense. We've seen that a couple weeks in a row, right, where offenses have did some positive things against that defense early on, and then in the second half you see the adjustments. They tighten the screws, and that's pretty much all she wrote. Coming up next, you'll hear from the head honcho, Coach Day, on Chip Kelly's offense and how that's evolving so far. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
We're looking good so far on the roadways. Just checked the traffic cameras for 315 north and southbound around the OSU campus area. No problems. Things are moving with light to moderate volumes. Even checked the 670, I-70, and I-71 traffic cameras. We're moving well around Central Ohio right now as we head toward kickoff. And just a quick reminder that construction continues on Cannon Drive around the stadium. Remember, you need a West Stadium parking pass to get onto Cannon. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited truck month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
First down!
Oh, what? Just cleared that drain last week.
Well, clearly that didn't work. Would you please just call the waterworks?
At the Waterworks, we mean clean. We'll get your drains good as new on the first down. And as for him, well, there's always the Buckeyes. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
How big of a Jackets fan are you? Like scary big? Prove it. Show us you're the biggest CBJ fan and you can win tickets to the Stadium Series at the Horseshoe. Head to 971thefan.com October 7th to enter. Do it.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like the best-selling RAV4. Now through November 4th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new gas-powered 2024 RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Bobcat Enterprises is your family-owned partner for landscaping and construction projects. Bobcat Enterprises sells and services a full line of Bobcat equipment, including compact track loaders, excavators, tractors, and more. Plus, Bobcat rents compact equipment and attachments. With Bobcat, you can rent the machine and own the results. Keep your business local. Stop by Bobcat Enterprises in Hilliard, Reynoldsburg, or Zanesville, and find current specials and our full line of products by visiting bobcatent.com today.
Get your ex to the lodge for the freshest menu additions. Spice up your wing order with new sauces featuring the chicken tikka or spicy chili crisp. Or try our famous flatbreads with the backyard barbecue brisket or chicken tikka. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford. That means we got the car you need at the price you want. But don't take it from me. Hear it from
Ohio State captain Travion Henderson.
Reichert has what I'm looking for.
Jack Sawyer.
Grew up watching these guys on TV. My family's bought tons of cars from them.
Cody Simon.
You get the right car at Reichert. With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
Thousands of vehicles are waiting. ReichertFord.com.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A sunny Saturday afternoon for Central Ohio with highs in the upper 70s. Tonight, temperatures falling from the 70s into the mid-50s with a clear sky. Then on Sunday, warming into the mid-80s with sunshine. Showers and thunderstorms possible in the afternoon and evening. And on Monday, sunny and cooler with highs in the mid-60s. I'm meteorologist Mike Joyce on 97.1 The Fan.
Got your game face on? I mean, have you actually painted your face? Good job, buddy. It's game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Reichert Ford.
The Fan. How do you know it's Buckeye game day?
I don't know.
Because I've ripped my shirt off in celebration. Do you like the Brutus tattoo on my chest? This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. I'm Matty Ice, DeVier, Posey, Dane, Sanzenbacher, a couple former Buckeye wide receivers in the house today, getting you ready for Ohio State and Iowa. And, fellas, I got to tell you this. Before we hear from Coach Day, when I think about aesthetically pleasing jersey-on-jersey matchups within the Big Ten, I don't know if it gets better for me than this. Clearly, the helmets of Ohio State and Michigan probably reign supreme and always will.
Yep.
But after that, when you talk about the black and yellow and the scarlet and gray going at it, this is high up there for me within the Big Ten, Iowa and Ohio State going at it jersey on jersey.
These are two great college football brands in terms of just, like, and even when you go to Iowa, Dane remembers, we went up to Iowa, had a crazy game. And, like, just the black and yellow, how it just domes the stadium. I'm all about, like, colors clashing in the stadium.
Absolutely.
Like, I love that. That's the best part about the Rose Bowl to me is just, like, one side of the stadium's another color and another side. Like, I love bowl games for that reason. And Iowa has one of the best, like, merchandise brands. Just that
Hawkeye that's elite.
Yeah.
It's solid.
Yeah. It's a killer. What's your favorite outside of Ohio State? I know this may be hard to admit, but logo, jersey within the conference that you really like?
Ooh, within the conference, it might be Iowa.
Okay.
It might be Iowa. Sparty's not bad. I was going to say out of the conference.
I'll probably go with Michigan State.
I can't. Yeah.
The Spartan is sweet.
Spartan is sweet.
Listen, if they're new, but I'm not mad at the burgundy and gold with the Trojan.
This guy went.
I'm not mad.
Let's do old school.
I'm not mad at it. They're in the Big Ten now. That's all I'm saying.
It's really good.
They're a new family member. You got to welcome them in.
So that, like, you get what I'm saying now. Like, they give you Big Ten vibes.
You love USC, man.
I do.
You're a Miller Moss type of guy.
I am. I'm mad at Zachariah Branch right now. Why? He's not playing like I thought he would be.
Talk to him. Get in his DMs. Let him know he's got to step his game up, Depot. You know who's playing well right now or performing well as a coach? That's Chip Kelly, because this Ohio State offense is evolving right in front of our eyes week by week. I can see the growth. You can see some of the new wrinkles within the offense. Here is Coach Day on Chip Kelly's offense.
Well, I think the thing that Chip would tell you is, when you say like offense, like, his offense or, the offenses that he's been in or our offense or anybody's offense, like, what is somebody's offense? It's putting our players in the best position to be successful. What does that look like? This year, it looks different than maybe it did when he was at UCLA, when he was at Oregon, when he was in Philly, every year it changes. So, just making the adjustments to put the guys in the right position based on who you have. And that's really what we're trying to do constantly.
It's funny, right? Because we talked about this on our very first pregame show about just the relationship between Coach Day and Chip Kelly and the trust that was there and how that was going to, I think, allow this offense to hit the ground running. Now we're at a point now to where I think you can see some of the things pop up from Chip Kelly, whether it's misdirection, you see some of the end-around stuff. We saw that touchdown from Jeremiah Smith at Michigan State where he's just explosive and hits the edge. And I really don't even know, fellas, if they've shown everything. We may get to a little bit of that today going into next week. But as far as how this offense is evolving, Dane, week in and week out, you could see it ramping up and ascending game by game.
It has. And it's a good point Coach Day made that, your offense is just, it becomes the style that it is because you're putting your guys in the best positions. Yeah. But at the same time, you're setting the field, right? The defense has to react to you, so you're setting the table. You end up having some kind of feel for what kind of offense you are, and really saying what does Chip Kelly bring to an offense? What do those look like? So far, yeah, it's been a ton of misdirection. It has been forming mismatches for his players with motion, with putting the defense in bad position, with putting him in conflict, as they say. You've seen it ramp up a little bit more and more, but we haven't quite seen the test. And I think we're going to see, and I think Coach Day even mentioned, we're going to see some new stuff coming up even this week in preparation for Oregon. Yep. But it just seems like he's getting a better feel for everything, slowly kind of rolling stuff in, but you can still see the stamp on, obviously he wants to be, and has been, incredibly balanced passing and running. I mean, almost dead equal.
No question.
In success.
Deepaul, I want to ask you this because, we hear a lot as people that just love the game but don't play the game, how in situations like this when you do have a big game on deck, you want to maybe save some things for that big game. Is that something that you just want to do on the fly next week, or do you want to put that on tape now and have Oregon study that? What's the balance of surprising a team with something new but being able to be comfortable with something new before you go out there and have to execute it on the field?
It just kind of goes back to like what Ryan Day was talking about in terms of like what is our offense, like, and him saying that. I'm listening to you talk, I'm listening to Dane talk. It just took my mind down a lane of like being a fly on the wall in the room with Chip and Ryan. Right, like two guys who are offensive gurus, two guys who understand personnel, who understand when I'm in this formation what the defense is going to give me. Like, and it's almost like it doesn't have to be spoken. It's like known. Let's go on a journey of perspective with these two gentlemen, right? Ryan Day, obviously, his father passes away tragically. Chip Kelly was his college coach. Chip Kelly gave him his first start in professional sports. Chip Kelly goes on and is the head coach of several teams. Ryan Day's view and knowledge and IQ of football was seeded by Chip Kelly, right? And then it evolved as they got older. Ryan Day gets this job at 36, 37, 38, however old he was. Now he's at a place to where he's managing the job, and he brings in his first mentor, the person who helped teach him the game. I imagine that there's no ego in the room when it comes to what we are, who we are, and what we can do. So I say that to say, let's go back and watch the film together, Chip. Let's go back and watch the film together, Ryan. Hey, we've shown these things. You remember when we did this? Do you remember how we can do this? How about we show them a totally different look? How about we place Jeremiah here? How about we misplace him like how we misplaced Marvin? How about we put two back sets out there to get Oregon to do this, to get Iowa to bring this heavy personnel in? Maybe we go empty. Maybe we use Will's legs. Like this offense, I can't wrap my mind around it. I can't, like Dane is saying, like it's been so balanced with running past that it's like I'm trying to like really understand what our offense is from a play standpoint, but I think the answer to me lies into the people. I'm trying to understand Ryan Day and Chip Kelly more together. Like I think that's what's scary. Like, that's the scariest part for me. Like, if I'm an opponent trying to study for these guys, is, well, damn, like, they are very, like, preparation-wise, I don't know. Like, you think about what the Marshall coach said. He's like, man, talented-wise, this is the best. He said something that people didn't hear. He's like, this is the best coach team I've ever faced against. He's like, this goes up with the Alabama teams. Like, are Buckeye fans not hearing that? Like, yeah, they're talented, but these mugs are coached great. Like, they are put in great positions. They're, like, schematically, it's hard to prepare for. So, I don't know, Matty.
It's just so much you got to cover.
Yeah.
So much you got to cover.
Yeah.
I completely understand that. And then from Ohio State side of things, as a coach, you have to love that, right? As far as the play sheet and what you can go to and when you can go to it, and the trust that you have in your players to execute, like last week where Coach Day, Coach Kelly call up that 4th and 5 to Emeka, and Will throws an absolute dot to Emeka, right? Because it was good coverage from the guy from Michigan State, but he puts it in place to where Emeka can get busy, and he takes it to the house. So it's all coming together well, and I think when you have a quarterback you can trust based off of what he's seen, that only adds to everything that's going on right now.
Or what about the 2nd and 20? We get a penalty, and we immediately go to a draw on Travion, and he picks up like 35. Right. You're like, what the fuck? Right. You called a draw on 2nd and 25, and you pick up 32? Like, it's like they're just – it's –
Well, and that's why I'm thinking they're not even looking ahead to try to, like, you know, set Oregon up with the jab. They're not, everything you put on tape to this point, Oregon's getting the whole bucket. They're going to say, okay, let's watch film on Ohio State. And there's going to be a lot of games, and they're like, oh. It's not even that they had to, like, oh, we know Oregon does this. You know, they run the reverse to Jeremiah. That's because it makes sense for Michigan State game. That's because, like, we saw this, and we think we can exploit this. Now, does it also have the effect of Oregon, like, all right, well, there goes another thing we got to look for. It does, but it's just like if you're successful in the game you're in, it's always scary tape.
I've always referred to Ohio State and the talent they have, but the play sheet they have as the Cheesecake Factory menu. If you've been to Cheesecake Factory, you know it's just an endless amount of food items on that menu, and that's where Chip Kelly and I think Ryan Day are at right now.
Well, honestly, that reverse, Dane and Matt, I don't even think they did that in camp. You know why? I think they saw the Chiefs do it with Xavier Worthy, and it's like, we're going to do that with Jeremiah.
You don't have to plan it that far ahead. They could have come up with it that week.
Like, we're going to just I like that play. We're doing that.
This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. Visit Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. When we come back, you'll hear more from Coach Day in our What They're Saying segment right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Moving well on the highways and side streets right now. 315 north and southbound has just light to moderate volumes as you head into the OSU campus area. Once you're off the highways, you may see some increasing volumes on some of the main surface streets. Specifically, Lane Avenue right now building up in volume between High and Olentangy. Also seeing an increase in traffic on Tuttle Park and Coffee Road. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is as strong as ever, so come see it.
Choose from Ohio's largest selection of Hondas and get 0% for 60 on any new CRV, HRV, Passport Pilot, or Ridgeline with the trade.
Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
0% with approved credit and 80% of MSRP financed. 2010 or newer trade with KBB appraisal at $2,500 or more. Must take delivery from dealer stock 10/31/24.
At KeyBank, we know a small moment like,
whoa, my kid's got a serious backhand,
can lead to an even bigger question like,
tennis camp is how much?
And that's the type of moment where we'll meet you to help you build a savings plan for expenses big and small so your money can make money. Mike, how's that sound?
Sounds like match point.
Sounds like love.
We could serve up tennis puns all day.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. KeyBank member FDIC.
First down! Oh, what? Just cleared that drain last week.
Well, clearly that didn't work. Would you please just call the waterworks?
At the Waterworks, we mean clean. We'll get your drains good as new on the first down. And as for him, well, there's always the Buckeyes. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Start Reaction Monday off in style with Bobby and Beam on Morning Juice. They're talking Buckeyes at 6:20, 7:20, and 8:20, and probably all the other minutes in between.
Reaction Monday is sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan.
Attention Ohio pizza restaurant owners. Tired of glitchy point-of-sale systems slowing you down? Meet Hunger Rush, Ohio's favorite pizza POS. With reliable hardware, an easy-to-use system, and 24/7 customer support, Hunger Rush speeds up your operations and boosts repeat orders by up to 10%. This is the restaurant point-of-sale built for pizza. Easily manage your drivers, easily take orders online, easily train your staff in minutes, and easily make modifications. Need to talk to a real person? That's easy too. Top Ohio pizzerias are winning with Hunger Rush. Solutions to help you streamline service, optimize workflows, and maximize profits. Join the thousands of successful restaurants transforming their operations with Hunger Rush for $0 down and $0 a month. Tools for menu management, marketing, customer engagement, and increased upsells, all in one simple platform. That's Hunger Rush, Ohio's favorite pizza POS. Schedule your free no-obligation demo at ohiopos.com. ohiopos.com. ohiopos.com.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The Ohio State University Army ROTC is open for enrollment and has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Buying a truck for your business doesn't have to be a time-consuming experience. Valley Ford of Columbus makes it easy with a dedicated commercial truck center and the best inventory in Ohio. Valley has the selection to fit your needs exactly. Here's just one example. 2024 Ford F-250s with $5,000 off MSRP and as low as 1.9 APR. Tell them I sent you and keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus, the official dealership of Carnell Tate and T-Bone, for whatever that's worth. Valley Ford of Columbus. More details, valleyfordofcolumbus.com.
This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells, hitting on a couple of scores from last night as we had a pair of top 25 teams on the gridiron. In Eugene, number 6 Oregon cruises to a 31-10 win over Michigan State. And in Sin City, Syracuse upset number 25 UNLV 44-41 in overtime. As we look ahead to today, there's just one top 25 matchup today. That'll be number 9 Missouri in College Station to face number 25 Texas A&M. Kickoff is at noon. Two other ranked teams will also get underway at noon today. UCLA is in Happy Valley against number 7 Penn State, and SMU is on the road against number 22 Louisville. And in baseball, the Guardians host the Tigers today in Game 1 of the best-of-5 ALDS series. First pitch is at 1:08. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus. From F-150 to F-750, Valley Ford of Columbus is Ohio's commercial truck headquarters. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Getting you ready for another Buckeye victory. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. It's time to find out what they're saying.
All right, welcome back in. Matty Ice, Dane, Sanzenbacher, and DeVier, Posey getting you ready for Ohio State and Iowa. Let's go back to some Coach Day sound, fellas, and let's hear from him about one of his veteran running backs in Travion Henderson and what he likes about his game right now.
We all can see the pass protection has been really a strong point, and I feel like we're running downhill as a group, stronger, and hitting things. Even the trap that we hit. I mean, we hit that the other day, and it came out the back end. And so playing a little bit more discernment across the board, a little more confidence. But that's got to continue against a really good defense this week.
I want to talk about what he mentioned at the very beginning of that clip, and that is the pass protection we've seen from Travion Henderson, because I can't remember exactly what game it was, but in one of the early games this season, he absolutely cleaned somebody's clock, knocked their block off here at the shoe, and that was a big-time hit. But even going back to last week, where Devin Brown comes in and he throws that touchdown to Jeremiah in the corner, I don't know if that happens if Travion doesn't come across and clip the defender coming off the edge and just gets him enough. It wasn't a big-time hit or anything like that. But I think for Travion, that's been such a big boost to his NFL draft status this year, because the league knows how explosive the guy is. You get him out in space, he can run away from almost anybody. But I think, to me, that's important for him to put on film, that you can trust me on third down, and that'll come when it comes to the NFL stuff. But as far as what's happening right now, Travion Henderson, man, has really been good as an extension of the offensive line throughout these games.
Yeah, such a luxury, and it's almost like he's making a conscious effort to do that, right? Because that type of stuff doesn't just happen. You don't just stumble into, I accidentally just blew up this linebacker who was trying to come in here. And you mentioned the play against Michigan State. It was the first thing I saw on that one. Obviously, it was a great play, but as a whole, I'm like, if he doesn't pick that up late, and that's a tough one. If I'm remembering correctly, he had to come across Will's face to go get him. That's a tough ask, but you're absolutely right. I think he's also seen, obviously, I'm not the only dog here right now. There's two of us. How am I going to differentiate myself? Well, there's an easy one right there. Be the gritty one. Be the one, and not
take the trash out with a smile on your face.
Right, and really show yourself. And you really want to be the guy that people are talking about. Like, great running back, but have you seen him in pass protection? Because the next level, now you're a complete back.
And I think that's happening with two guys this year. It's happening with Travion, and it's happening with Emeka Egbuka. And I want to take some time to make sure I honor Emeka Egbuka, because the dude was downright in his bag when you're talking about blocking last week. Like, he had a stiff block to where he motioned down behind the tackle, and he came in and absolutely obliterated the Mike linebacker. He was the guy with no gloves. He was like, you're getting punished for not wearing gloves.
He said, put something on those arms.
He said, put something on, get a wristband. Bow! It was just like, and it was just like, so he had that, and then Jeremiah, he's making these plays. Emeka's blocking downfield. He's making great blocks. Travion is making great blocks in the run game. And you talk about these guys coming back for their senior year. You talk about these guys sacrificing, going to the NFL, individual accolades. Man, it stuck out to me so much, like just on a personal level. Man, I hit Emeka in the DMs. I don't know if he read it or not. Maybe he hit me back. But it's like one of those things to where it's like, bro, like, I just want you guys to know I see the sacrifice in what you two are doing, and how it's showing up on film, where you guys are doing the dirty work that's allowing these younger guys, these new transfer portal guys, to get off.
To your point, I heard Sam Alcho from ESPN about a week ago. He was talking about Ohio State, and one of the hosts asked him, what does he like most about this Ohio State team? And he said, when I turn on the film, I see guys playing for each other. I see guys going the extra mile to block. I see guys, when somebody's running it all the way into the end zone, guys
we were missing that last year.
Celebrating with him. So that's showing up to a lot of people, and I think it's really good stuff there. Let's hear from Coach Day on the opponent. We know what Iowa wants to do. We know their style of football. It hasn't changed in 2+ decades, but let's see what Coach Day has seen so far on film and what he expects from the Hawkeyes this afternoon.
This is a very good team. They play physical. You guys know who they are. They have not changed their identity in a long time, and they have very, very good coaches and physical players, a veteran team. We're going to get challenged in a lot of areas, and this is challenging our whole building. They're going to be coming hard. They're physical. They're well coached. They're fundamental, and they have an identity. So it's going to start here on the practice field. We've got to have a great practice today.
For me, fellas, when it comes to, defensively for Ohio State, I think they have to do a great job on first and second down, because we know Iowa wants to run the ball. They're one of the best rushing attacks right now in the conference and in the country. Johnson at running back can absolutely go. That guy right now is averaging 7.5 yards per carry on first down and over 9 yards per carry on second down. That's where I think this game could get a little weird for Ohio State if the chains are moving early on. So I just think the front seven, the presence of the linebackers and the D-line on those early downs, it's going to be critical for them to handle that more times than not on this Saturday afternoon.
It's where those linebackers. It's not now. You talking about looking ahead for games. You talking about wide receivers getting ready for Oregon. Linebackers are so excited for games like this. It's like, oh, you're talking about running the ball, blah, 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 and they're just ready to run into a wall. I'm joking, but seriously.
That's what linebackers sound like.
They do sound like that. They're excited for running games like this. Like, James Laurinaitis has probably been so excited this week getting guys like Cody and Sonny and Arvell and CJ ready because they know what they're up against. Caleb Downs, I feel like the Buckeye fans are going to really get to see his physical presence. We got to see a glimpse last week,
good game,
but you're going to see him come and take out a kneecap today. Okay. And I wish all health, but he's going to come in like a missile, and he has that in his game. He, out of any safety that's played at Ohio State, reminds me the most of Mike Doss. And maybe it's the two, but he just plays that physical in the running game. We'll see Ransom come up. I want to see another Peanut. He has had a knack of that lately. And so our safeties and our linebackers have a big responsibility this week to play hard in the running game and play stout.
No doubt. The Fan Pregame Show is presented by KeyBank. For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. When we come back, it is one tough animal time. We're shining a light on a player or two that balled out last week around college football. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Not bad on the highways right now. The action is on the surface streets. A lot of people trying to find a spot to park and get to their tailgate. North High Street is busy between Woodruff and 10th. A lot of people streaming into the Union garages right now, but the good news is there's still spots there. 11th and 12th, both are busy between Neal and High. Olentangy River Road from Kinnear to Woody Hayes has some brake lights as well. But right now, overall, things are moving very nicely. With your game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota. With more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, anything's possible. Like the family-size Highlander with room for up to 8. Now through November 4th, you can lease a Highlander XLE all-wheel drive for $489 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Bobcat Enterprises is your family-owned partner for landscaping and construction projects. Bobcat Enterprises sells and services a full line of Bobcat equipment, including compact track loaders, excavators, tractors, and more. Plus, Bobcat rents compact equipment and attachments. With Bobcat, you can rent the machine and own the results. Keep your business local. Stop by Bobcat Enterprises in Hilliard, Reynoldsburg, or Zanesville, and find current specials and our full line of products by visiting bobcatent.com today.
Gambling too much? Or just can't seem to cut your losses? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, pub and gambling counselor at Maryhaven. Whether it's you or someone you love, we're here to help you control gambling before it controls you. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven is here for you no matter what. And that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Confidential and judgment-free, go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
There's always time for the drive-thru deal. Because no matter how fast you are at making breakfast, McDonald's is faster.
Wake up to McDonald's breakfast and mix and match a classic sausage McMuffin, delicious sausage burrito, or crispy hash browns. Get any two for just $3. Order ahead in the app and pick up curbside. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
It's Sunday Morning Football on ESPN Columbus and the Fans HD2. Catch the Jets and Vikings live from London. Coverage starts Sunday morning at 9.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home of the NFL, The Fan.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is as strong as ever, so come see us.
Choose from Ohio's largest selection of Hondas. And get 0% for 60 on any new CRV, HRV, Passport Pilot, or Ridgeline with the trade.
Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
0% with approved credit and 80% of MSRP financed. 2010 or newer trade with KBB appraisal at $2,500 or more. Must take delivery from dealer stock 10/31/24.
Full inventory sale at Logan Services. Save up to $2,500 and 0% APR financing for 72 months on a qualifying train system. Plus, your choice of one air quality freebie. It's hard to stop a train with a system for every home and budget. Now, for a limited time, save up to $1,000 on a water heater and water conditioning combo. Ask us about tax credits when you book your free estimate now. Logan Services.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Hi, I'm Laura De Leon, president of Key Bank in Central Ohio. Here at Key, we believe in providing a helping hand in our community. While helping hands are wonderful, a helping bank is even better. That's a bank committed to solving people's financial needs, but it doesn't stop there. We advocate, we support, we listen, and we volunteer. That's a bank that is always ready to meet you in the moment. Key Bank opens doors.
Key Bank, member FDIC.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your flagship home for Buckeye football, the Fan, Ohio sports destination. The Fan's one tough animal.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. Matty, DeVier, Posey, Dane, Sanzenbacher, getting you ready for another conference matchup. Ohio State welcoming in Iowa. Before we get back to any of that, it's time to shine a light on some guys that have been balling. Dane, I want you to lead it off this week. Who is your one tough animal?
My one tough animal
this Saturday. Who we got?
It's from Colorado, and it's our guy Travis Hunter, who keeps on showing up. Yep. Week after week. Now, I know Colorado's not everybody's cup of tea.
Were you not a believer at first? I wasn't.
No, I was not a believer.
Colorado or Travis Hunter?
It took a while for me to get get with Travis Hunter because he's like kind of awkward.
I don't know. It's different, and I guess I'm prefacing it because I don't love the Heisman pose thing. It's not my style. Mm-hmm. But that said, good governor.
Yeah,
that guy is like the two-way player. Being able to do it's one thing. Being able to do it in today's college football is another thing. Yeah. And then going into the year, everybody knows you're the guy.
Yeah.
And you're still going to try to throw it at him, and he's still going to get his. So I just think it's so impressive to be able to do that with the spotlight on you.
Yeah.
And when you're looking down the stat sheet and you see the touchdown column, Travis Hunter won. The interception column, Travis Hunter won. You're just like, man, I can see why he's among the top Heisman Trophy candidates.
No question, man. And he's right there in the top 3 of a lot of the Vegas odds right now with what he's doing. And so offensively, he's doing enough, and defensively, he is an absolute menace as well. So we may be looking at the next Charles Woodson. I mean,
gotta give love to the two-way players.
You have to. And you mentioned two-way. It's not like, hey, it's just here. This is almost every snap of the game. He's still out there on the field. So you got to give him his flowers, man. He's must-see TV doing his thing. Depot, who's your one tough animal this week?
So I feel like this is a travesty because by all means, I don't care what argument I'm getting in, Jeremiah Smith is the best freshman in the country. But, I mean, I'm watching this Georgia game last week. I got the screen split, and this kid, Ryan Williams, plays so free. He plays like he's just having fun in the backyard. He's just like dancing, and He has the kill everybody on his eye black. I noticed, I'm all about the details. I see the details. He goes for 177 yards, 1 tutty, 6. And you're talking like 17 years old. Yes, he's balling in the SEC. But no, we're talking versus Georgia in a huge SEC game
it actually
early.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And the thing about him, everybody's going to say, oh, he did the Reggie Bush stop. No, what was more impressive to me was the game-winning tutty. He jumps up and catches the ball. Me and Dane both play receiver. Every 17-year-old, they're falling. That's enough. I caught the ball. It's first down. Mm-hmm. No. He keeps his balance. He pirouettes out of that and gets back up to top speed, puts the Porsche Ferrari system brakes on, then goes up again and goes shuts the stadium down. Oh, this kid is we were talking about him a couple weeks ago, Dane, right? Do you see he's not like you're saying, you know what you get with Metcalf. I don't know what I'm getting with this kid. He's just impressing me every single week. I see Devontae Smith. I see Amari Cooper. I see Jerry Jeudy. I see Jalen Waddle. I see 4 or 5 Alabama receivers in his game.
It's crazy to think that both he and Jeremiah Smith have to play 2 more years at this level.
It's crazy.
They're not going to need it. And they're both built differently. Jeremiah, he looks like he's built like a grown man already. Ryan Williams looks like a 17-year-old, but the play is just absolutely
crazy,
insane. The fact that those guys have come into the 2 big premier conferences in college football and gone scorched earth the way that they have is just absolutely spectacular. And the moment that you're talking about, it doesn't get any bigger than that. I got to have it moment, and then you do all the stuff that he was doing. Ryan Williams is an absolute beast. I'm going with the Boise State running back right now because Ashton Jeanty is just on one. He's on one. He leads the country in rushing yards. Last week, 26 carries, 259 yards on the ground, 4 more touchdowns. This man has 13 rushing touchdowns already. He's averaging 10.5 a pop. He needs to be in the Heisman conversation as well. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, and Ashton Jeanty, to me, would be my top 3 at the moment. He's got speed. He's got power. Boise State right now is on the map because of this guy. So Ohio State, they've got 2 ballers at running back as well, but this Ashton Jeanty guy is as advertised, and I will not be surprised at all if we're talking about the 2024 Doak Walker Award winner.
You think he's blending into the blue field?
He is.
You know what?
I mean, come on.
You may be on to something. They can't see him.
250. They can't see him.
They can't see him.
He just looks like eyeballs floating around.
Yeah, it's crazy,
250 is absolutely crazy.
The lowest yards per carry that he's had in a game this season is 7.7. That's the worst game that he's had, and that came against Oregon, and he hit them up for $192 and 3 touchdowns. So
wow,
he's a junior from Jacksonville, Florida, and he might be one of those first-round picks at the running back position, but either way, he's going to go into the league and do some good things. Dane, I think we got a special guest in the house today that's wearing some amazing pants. Who is our guest today?
So every year we go on the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. We raise money to help the James Cancer Hospital. Us, me, Dane, a bunch of alumni, and we get to interact with all types of Buckeyes from all places in the country, all over the world. We do these auctions to where we can offer experiences. One of the auctions that we did last year was a game day experience with me. We're going to have Gary on the show. We're going to go get on the field, go watch the guys warm up. We're going to go tailgate, go to a few places. You guys invite us to the stage announcements. We're going to come over there. But I got Gary Hayes here, and me and Dane have both played golf with Gary on separate occasions. He's a riot. He's a good time. But he has a Buckeye story. We wanted to get your background on what makes you love Ohio State so much, and just what are your thoughts on the 2024 season, Gary?
Well, I'm a Buckeye because I was born in Zanesville, Ohio. All of my family come from Muskingum County and Perry County. Mm-hmm. My 5th great-grandmother was moved into Perry County in 1798. Mm-hmm. She lived until 1902. Mm-hmm. Only woman in Ohio to live in the 17, 18, and 1900s.
Oh, wow.
So my roots as a Buckeye go very, very deep. As far as this season goes, it's something. I'm really impressed because I've never seen a team as fast as we are. Overall, we are just extremely quick off the ball and and I love that. I love seeing that speed.
That's great. So, Gary, you got to tell them about. So this week you're going to the game with me here in Columbus. You did something great last week too. You got to hang out with another great Buckeye. You got to tell the listeners about that experience last week too.
So last week I flew to Phoenix, Arizona, and I was a guest of Paris Johnson Jr.'s.
Yes, sir.
And I got to hang out with Paris after the game, got a couple of jerseys. He put his hand on my shoulder, and I was afraid. I mean, it's huge hands.
Yeah. That hand stones a lot of defensive linemen that get paid. That hand is scary.
But he, as big as he is, and he wasn't even, there was no fat. No. He was just muscle. So very, very impressive. But no, went out to Arizona, had a great time out there, and now I'm out here doing this. And later on in the week, I'm golfing at Murfield. So,
you are living the dream right now. You are living the dream right now. Speaking of golf, you've played golf with these guys. How's the golf game for these two men?
Okay, if I'm going to be honest, I'm hooking up DeVier with Lisa Strom, who is the OSU women's golf coach, and we're going to get him some lessons because he's got the athleticism. He just needs to work on, and he's left-handed, so I can't help him.
Yep. And listen, I'm coachable. So
I know that's why
I'm a sponge. I have no ego in this, and when it comes to golf, like if somebody says that, hey, like you're shooting around 100s, 95, 90s, you need to get better. I'm ready. I'm ready to get better. And Gary, send me your number. I'll go over there next week. Like I don't care. Like I'm like Matty knows. I'm in love with the game right now. I have the bug. I'll go and get right. I'm going to get right.
So Paris wants to learn also. Paris does not golf at all.
Oh well, he's going to suck for a long time.
Can you imagine?
He's gonna when he's first started. You're banned for a very long time.
It's rough. It's a brutal sport.
Yeah, I don't want to be out there the first couple times. But
Gary,
we'll see you in a couple years, Paris.
Gary, we appreciate you stopping by.
Gary.
Your pants are amazing. From one Hayes to another, the last name is just as exclusive as it can get. So I appreciate that, man.
Yes.
I hope you have a great day.
I will. Thank you guys for having me, and go Bucks.
Go Bucks, Gary. Thank you.
Coming up next, the man that sits on the Iron Throne at 10 TV, Adam King, will join the program after this. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
In about the past 30 minutes, we have seen volumes pick up on the highways. 315 southbound between North Broadway and Lane Avenue is getting heavier. Lane Avenue is pretty heavy between North High and Olentangy River Road right now. And Olentangy River Road has some slow spots between Ackerman and Lane and also between King and Herrick. North High Street is pretty busy as well between King and Lane. But overall, no major slowdowns for you. With your game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited Truck Month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
First down!
Oh, what? Just cleared that drain last week.
Well, clearly that didn't work. Would you please just call the waterworks?
At the Waterworks, we mean clean. We'll get your drains good as new on the first down. And as for him, well, there's always the Buckeyes. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
Ready to pop the question but not sure where to start? Join us at Diamond Cellar After Hours on October 17th for a night out with a DJ, drinks, and exclusive discounts on engagement rings. With 90 days to redeem your discount, there's no rush to find the one. The ring, that is. When you stop by, you'll have a chance to win Ohio State football tickets or Blue Jackets tickets in the new Diamond Cellar Club. RSVP now at diamondcellar.com/afterhours and save up to $1,000 on qualifying purchases. See you October 17th at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota truck. Now through November 4th, get 1.9 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a Tacoma SR Double Cab for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Nobody builds better trucks than Toyota. Let's go places.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The Ohio State University Army ROTC is open for enrollment and has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Ohio's pickup truck headquarters, Valley Ford of Columbus. Whether you're heading to the game or heading to the job site, Valley has the Ford F-150 selection to bring home a winner. Take it from me, a real Valley Ford customer. Buy or lease, you're going to save big money. That's because my team at Valley always works hard to get you the better deal because they know you work harder. Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus, the official dealership of Carnell Tate and T-Bone. More details, valleyfordofcolumbus.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells. We'll start with a couple of scores from last night as we had a pair of top 25 teams in action. In the Big Ten, number 6 Oregon takes care of business as they beat Michigan State 31-10 in Eugene. And in Las Vegas, Syracuse upset number 25 UNLV 44-41 in overtime. As we turn the page to today, third-ranked Ohio State is back at home for a matchup against the Iowa Hawkeyes. Kickoff at the Shoe is at 3:30. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, UCLA will visit number 7 Penn State, and Purdue is at Wisconsin at noon. At 3:30, number 23 Indiana is at Northwestern. At 4 o'clock, Rutgers will face Nebraska in Lincoln. And at 7:30 tonight, Washington will host number 10 Michigan, and Minnesota will host number 11 Southern Cal. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus, Bronco Explorer, Mustang, Mach-E, and more. You can ride into autumn with Valley Ford of Columbus. Breaking sports news, what happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Can you smell it? Buckeye football is in the air. You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your home for the Buckeyes, The Fan.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. Matty, DeVier, Posey, Dane, Sanzenbacher, getting you ready for Buckeyes and Hawkeyes. We're going to add one of our favorites to the program. We do it every week. The man that sits on the Iron Throne at 10 TV. His name is Adam King, AK. Happy game day. The sun is shining. How we feeling, big dog?
I'm feeling great. I do have to know how much do they pay you to call me one of your favorites? I know that that's not true.
You know what? There's a little extra in the paycheck every week if I say that.
It's awfully nice per day.
AK, talk about last week on the road. Buckeyes' first trip out of Columbus, conference play. They go into East Lansing. They come back to the city with a dub. You were there. Talk about the atmosphere, but more importantly, talk about what you saw from the old Scarlet and Gray out there on the field.
Well, I think, first of all, what I saw was a team that faced adversity for the first time, kind of. They definitely got pushed a little bit, and they handled it really, really well. I mean, I don't think anybody on that defense is going to tell you they had a perfect game. When you look at the scoreboard, they only gave up 7 points, and that has to matter. I mean, they got pushed a little bit there. They got spread out. Some things in the secondary were a little worrisome early on, but in the end, I mean, what we saw was a team that took that for the second straight game, went and made changes at halftime, and really shut down the offense again. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I've said this a lot. My biggest takeaway is that Will Howard threw a pass that he regrets. That interception, it just was not a good pass, and yet he came right back down and led them to a touchdown. His next throw was a 20-yard downfield throw. That's a guy that knows how to put the past behind him and lead a team to a win no matter what happened on that last drive.
Hey, Adam, it's Dane. What's going on, buddy?
How you doing, sir?
Doing great. Hey, so obviously in the Michigan State game, we saw both in the offense, both the passing game and the running game were really strong. And I think Coach Ferentz for Iowa this week had said, it's like, which poison pill do you want to take? You watch this team a ton. If you're preparing for the Ohio State offense and you have to pick one or the other, you have to focus your attention somewhere, stopping the run game or trying to slow down the passing game, what do you think is most effective?
I wouldn't want to do either, as you said. I mean, I definitely don't know that it's possible to shut down either. I would definitely just say try to make them throw the ball, but even then, you're talking about explosive plays that are possible at every single turn. You're talking about the best wide receiver core, one of the best wide receiver cores in the country, a quarterback that is getting more confident with every single throw in this offense, settling in at Ohio State. There's no given one for me. I mean, the ground game, they can hit big plays at every turn if they want. So it's you're right. It's pick your poison, and I don't want either. But I think I would try to make Ohio State throw. But then I would worry that they would hit the long ball or hit a couple slants and take them to the house.
Kinger, how you doing? It's doing your great. Favorite. It's your favorite radio host, DeVier Posey. How you doing?
Timmy Hall, is that you?
Stop. You know, Adam. Come on, man. The pride of Gahanna Lincoln. I got to ask you a question. What's the rhetoric? I brought up a point about Emeka Egbuka and Trevion Henderson taking out the trash with a smile on their face, doing the hard work, being the seniors, keeping this team together, like the things that don't show up on the stat sheet these guys are doing, right? They're celebrating together, like Matty Ice highlighted, that Samuel Ancho said, hey, these guys are celebrating together. Like, what is that spirit of the seniors and doing the dirty work like right now?
Well, you know what? You hit the two key words, dirty work. That is what Ryan Day said this week. It was my biggest takeaway from his press conference, was that's what's going to make this a championship team. Yep. Is there have been things said in the past about Ohio State being a finesse team, about not having toughness, all of that stuff. That showed through at Michigan State that that's simply not true. When you've got Emeka Egbuka, who could be a first-round receiver, taking guys to the ground, celebrating. When you've got Seth McLaughlin, as Ryan Day said, finishing guys into the end zone. Trevion Henderson, they don't complete that fourth down to Emeka without Trey picking up the block. I mean, it's things like that that are going to make this team a championship team. And the amazing part is the guys love it just the same. They're celebrating just as much for throwing a block as they are in the end zone. And when you have that kind of mindset, there's always talk about, there's two running backs. How do you keep both happy? There's star wide receivers everywhere. How do you keep everybody happy? This team really doesn't care. They just want to win. It's as simple as that. You know how you keep everybody happy? You go win a championship.
Just win, baby.
No doubt about it. We're talking to Adam King from 10 TV right here on The Fan. AK, before we let you go, my man, lay out the schedule for you where the folks can follow you on socials, but more importantly, what's the TV schedule looking like for you today, big dog?
Well, you can tune in tonight, wall-to-wall sports. We'll have a complete breakdown of the game, as always. Also, you can see the game on 10 TV. Don't forget that. And then every Saturday, don't forget, 9 a.m. the official coaches show of Ohio State Athletics, Game Time with Ryan Day. They're like 10 TVs. Just turn your TV to 10 TV, take the batteries, and just throw the remote outside, and you'll be fine for the rest of your life.
Before you bounce, I need a final score out of you. What do you got today when that clock hits triple zeros?
41-13.
Ooh, 41-13. Okay, there he goes. He's the man that sits on the Iron Throne at 10 TV. He's Adam King. We talk to him every week right here on the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. AK, enjoy the weather, my man. I know you'll crush it on TV. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. King in the North.
King in the North. You're darn right. Rob Stark. See, DeVier doesn't get that reference. Do you get that reference?
Yeah.
The King in the North, DeVier?
Was that a Pickerington North reference?
No, this was a Game of Thrones reference. This was a game. I've been trying to get him into this, and he's just a man that just wants to be stubborn at this point. And he doesn't want to embrace greatness. That's
I'm not
what he
interested in housewives of Dungeons and Dragons. You know, it's like it's just a drama-filled Renaissance show.
You just woke up and wanted to choose
I know, I pissed
today.
off a lot of people.
I was just going to say, words have consequences, man.
There's going to be a sword in my front yard.
It's a bad take. It's a bad take right there, Depot.
That's all we can say. It's just a bad take.
That's all we got, big dog.
You said it, but that was...
He wants to die on that hill.
Okay.
He wants to die on that hill, but we're just going to let him do it. Hey, when we come back, we'll go behind enemy lines. John Steppe, who covers Iowa Hawkeyes for the Gazette, will break down everything that Kirk Ferentz and his team are going to come out of Daytona with this Saturday afternoon. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Things are starting to pick up on 315. This time it's the northbound side. Busier between the Medical Center exit and Lane Avenue. Olentangy River Road, that usual spot between King and John Herrick. Definitely seeing a few more brake lights. Kenny Road is busy from Woody Hayes to Lane Avenue. And of course, Lane Avenue is pretty crowded between North High Street and Olentangy River Road. And a quick parking note, the Ag campus lots off of Woody Hayes and Fife Road are now full. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford. That means we got the car you need at the price you want. But don't take it from me. Hear it from
Ohio State captain Travion Henderson.
Reichert has what I'm looking for.
Jack Sawyer.
Grew up watching these guys on TV. My family's bought tons of cars for them.
Cody Simon.
You get the right car at Reichert. With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
Thousands of vehicles are waiting. ReichertFord.com. Get the right car at Reichert. We're dealing.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
With so much in one place, Meijer is the only stop you'll need to make. Save big with weekly deals going on now. Like California red or black seedless grapes, only $1.49 per pound. Fresh from Meijer 80% lean ground beef, just $4.99 a pound. And Meijer shredded, sliced, or chunk cheese, 3 for $6. You can always count on low prices and great quality at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See these deals and more in-store or in the Meijer app.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here from my friends at High Bank Distillery Co., located right here in Columbus, the home of the best blended whiskey in America. Support local and grab a bottle at your local liquor store right now. But they don't just make whiskey. Introducing their newest product, 614 Vodka, Ohio's house vodka. High Bank teamed up with 614 to launch your new favorite go-to, 614 Vodka. Perfect to make a drink at home or try when you're out at your favorite local restaurant. There's no taste like home with 614 Vodka. Learn more at 614vodka.com.
It's officially hockey o'clock. The Jackets open up the regular season against the Wild. Live fan coverage starts Thursday night at 7:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Proud to be your home of the Blue Jackets. The Fan.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Dort, what's that guy yelling about in my noisemaker?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Your climate hero, you fossil?
What's a climate hero?
That's Dormar, our same-day heating and AC company we've used for 60 years.
Who?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Come on, Dad, you laugh every time you hear their Tidy Whitey commercials.
Yep, those are funnier.
Dormar, your climate hero.
What's up, sandwich heads? Today on Steve-O's Sandwich Reviews, we've got the tips and tricks to the best sandwich order. And it all starts with this little guy right here. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Partial to pastrami, craving a Cubano. Yeah, sounds delicious, but boom! Add the crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar and cue the fireworks. Lunch, dinner, or late night, it'll be a sandwich worth celebrating. Trust me, your boy's eaten a lot of sandwiches in his day, and the one thing I can say with absolute fact, every bite is better with Pepsi.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited Truck Month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A sunny sky Saturday afternoon, warm with highs in the mid to upper 70s. Overnight, temperatures in the 60s, falling into the 50s, very comfortable. Then on Sunday, sunshine to start, highs in the mid 80s and a chance of afternoon showers and storms. Sunny and cooler on Monday with highs in the mid 60s. I'm meteorologist Mike Joyce on 97.1 The Fan.
It's game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Reichert Ford.
Up early, stay late. Don't change the channel. You're home for the Buckeyes. The Fan. Saturday in Ohio. Birds are chirping. The sky is, blue, gray? I don't know. This is recorded in advance. But the most wonderful thing of all is Buckeye football. You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. The fans behind enemy lines.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers. Visit your local Central Ohio Ford dealer today.
All right, Behind Enemy Lines this week is going to be brought to you by John Steppe, who covers Iowa for the Gazette. AR and I talked to him yesterday on Rothman and Ice. Here's that interview for you now.
Prepped and healthy. You get the bye week before Ohio State. I guess if you had to strategically plan it, that's probably the way they would want it. How much did they need this extra week?
Well, it's interesting. They've been unusually healthy really through the first 4 weeks, and they had a couple injuries that were lingering. O'Shawn Williams, one of their running backs, missed the Minnesota game. Seth Anderson, one of their wide receivers, missed the first 4 games, and both of them have returned to practice during the bye week. So the few injuries that they did have now are healthy. They had a little bit of extra time to game plan for Ohio State, which certainly is much needed. So it's a good time for Iowa to be going into what is undoubtedly the biggest challenge of their 2024 schedule.
As you know, a lot of the talking swirls around Iowa when it comes to what can their offense be year in and year out, because more times than not, the defense is good, special teams is good. But I want to ask you specifically about Tim Lester, the offensive coordinator, and what you've seen from him as a play caller, maybe a few new wrinkles that you've noticed this year versus years from the past.
Yeah, it's definitely a breath of fresh air in Iowa City with this offensive scheme. I think the best comparison would be for somebody trying to understand what they might see on Saturday is look at what the Packers run on Sunday. And Lester was an analyst with the Packers last year, and it's kind of a similar Shanahan-style system. Of course, some differences for Iowa's personnel, of course, versus the Packers. But you look at it, and they've had a lot of success running the ball. The passing game is not quite as far ahead in terms of progression. So it's definitely a run-first team. They use motion a lot. They will throw in a goal line package that has Brendan Sullivan, the Northwestern transfer, at quarterback instead of Cade McNamara. So a little more creativity than Iowa fans have been used to seeing, and certainly a lot of success with Caleb Johnson running the ball. He's rushed for over 100 yards in all 4 games, and that's despite being held out of the first half of the Illinois State game in week 1. So it's certainly a better offense than Iowa has seen in a while, but they also have not faced a defense the caliber of Ohio State's.
John, is there it sounds a little bit personal for Caleb, right? Ohio kid, certainly wants to play well. There was a quote floating around that, he wouldn't want to go to Ohio State. He just wanted to beat him. You mentioned LaShawn Williams coming back. Do they feel that there's a personal, week-in out duel, Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins?
I think this is a chance for Iowa to prove themselves at a level that they really haven't been able to prove themselves at in the last few years. They were outscored, I believe, as 92-0 against ranked opponents last year, and this is basically their chance to prove that this team is different, that they can compete at the level of the Ohio States of the world. And it's interesting, there's a fair number of Ohio State connections and state of Ohio connections. You were mentioning Caleb Johnson being from the state. Also have Caleb Brown, the former Buckeye, in the wide receiver core. He has not had a huge role this year, but in the second half of last year is a key part of things. And, of course, Luke Lachey, Jim Lachey's son, has been a tremendous tight end for Iowa. He hasn't maybe been involved as much as he could be in this aerial attack so far this year, but I'm sure a lot of tight ends would take his numbers in a heartbeat.
One of the matchups I'm very excited to see is, this linebacking core for Iowa and Jay Higgins going up against the two-headed monster of Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson. For the Buckeye fans that haven't had a chance to watch Jay Higgins or just don't know too much about his game, talk about him at that linebacker spot and that challenge that he's going to face going up against Ohio State's running backs.
Yeah, what Jay Higgins did last year was really remarkable. He takes over for Jack Campbell, who was a first-round pick in the 2023 NFL draft, and first full year as a starter, he ties the program record for total tackles in a season, which I think is 171 or 172. But it was a really remarkable first season, and you look at it, kind of the clear leader of this defense, somebody who really can be another coach on the field, but then also a great tackler, can really do it all at that middle linebacker position. Really high IQ football player there at that Mike linebacker spot. And right next to him, Nick Jackson is a really good weak side linebacker. And Jay Higgins gets a lot of the spotlight, and understandably so with his numbers, but between him and Nick Jackson, that's probably one of the better linebacker duos in the country that you'll see this year.
This is a big one, obviously, for them from a signature moment. You mentioned the Ohio guys. I'm thinking back to early part of their season here, and both Matty and I figured that you guys would beat Iowa State. You had them at home. It was a game you probably should have won. They have bounced back, and I know they were in a tight one at Minnesota. But take me back into kind of this season now through 4 games. What are they really hanging their hat on, this specific Iowa team?
Yeah, the defense, the rush defense has been fantastic. So that's really a matchup I'm going to be curious, because obviously Ohio State has quite the running back duo there. So that's been fantastic. Historically, Iowa has been really good at not allowing big plays, and that has been a little bit of a relatively weaker spot for this defense. They gave up, I think it was a 75-yarder against Iowa State and a 62 and 63-yard touchdown passes against Troy. So that's been a concern, relatively speaking, for this Iowa defense. But then on the offensive side of the ball, the thing that they're going to be hanging their hat on is that rush offense. And Caleb Johnson has been remarkable. This rush in terms of the run blocking, that's also been better than what we've seen. Pass protection is probably not quite to that point, but you look at it, and this is a team that has done well on both sides of the ball on the ground. This is a team that can flip the field from a field position standpoint as well. And kind of the hang up has been they haven't really played a complete 4 quarters yet. If you took just the second half against Illinois State, the first half against Iowa State, the second half against Troy, and the second half against Minnesota, you got a really good football team. But you take those other 4 halves, and that they've shown some weak spots there. So playing a consistent full 4 quarters of football at the potential that they can play is a question mark for this team going into a game where the margin for error will be very thin.
Kirk Ferentz has obviously been there for such a long time. He's just the face of, this brand when it comes to football, that being the Iowa Hawkeyes. Where are fans at with expectations for him and his football team now at this point in his career? Based off of what you see maybe on social media or the fans that you've talked to, what are fans expecting from this football program year in and year out?
Well, I think this year in particular, I think a lot of fans realize this is Iowa's chance. If they're going to get past kind of the 8 to 10 wins and going to the Citrus Bowl or the Outback Bowl, now ReliaQuest Bowl, if they want to get past that level into that next tier, this is really their opportunity to do it. So I think fans would like to see, a lot of fans at least would like to see a 12-team college football playoff berth. And of course, it sounds easier than that is to actually do when you think about how difficult it is to be one of those 12, especially with automatic bids. But I think there's a thirst to see what this team can do, especially now that it has a little more of a pulse on offense. I think one of the frustrating things for Iowa fans is, as exceptional as the defense and special teams have been the last 2 years, the offense hasn't been there. And one of the interesting what ifs is, what if they had a productive offense with how good that defense was in terms of leading the country in back-to-back years and yards allowed per play? You just don't hear about that very often. So I think there's a thirst really to see if this Iowa team can get to the next level. I think if they end up at the ReliaQuest Bowl, you're certainly going to have some fans who are happy that they've had another quality season, but I think there's some fans who would kind of have a thirst for more that could be left unquenched.
All right, my man. Great job, John Steppe. Thanks. Enjoy the game on Saturday.
Thanks. Looking forward to being back in Columbus.
There he goes. John Steppe covers Iowa for the Gazette. That was Behind Enemy Lines for you this week. When we come back, who's got the heat? Who needs to take their game to another level? We're going to apply some pressure on somebody around college football. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Traffic volumes are picking up on 315, both north and southbound, primarily as you approach the Lane Avenue and Ackerman Road exits off the highway and onto the surface streets. It's kind of the same story. Lane Avenue is pretty heavy between North High Street and Olentangy River Road. Olentangy River Road has some slow spots between Ackerman and Lane. And a reminder for parking, the Ag Campus lots, those are the lots off of Woody Hayes and Fife Road, are now full. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like America's best-selling car, Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through November 4th, you can lease a Camry LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
30% of D1 athletes report betting-related threats and harassment after games. This threatens the safety and mental health of students like Jade.
I'm a college athlete, and I'm more than a bet. When you threaten my life and my family because you lost money, it really scares me.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Full inventory sale at Logan Services. Save up to $2,500 and 0% APR financing for 72 months on a qualifying train system. Plus, your choice of one air quality freebie. It's hard to stop a train with a system for every home and budget. Now, for a limited time, save up to $1,000 on a water heater and water conditioning combo. Ask us about tax credits when you book your free estimate now. Logan Services.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The Ohio State University Army ROTC is open for enrollment and has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu.
It's Sunday Night Football on the Fan. Catch the Cowboys and Steelers from Yinzerville. Live coverage starts Sunday at 8.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home of the NFL, the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Attention Ohio pizza restaurant owners. Tired of glitchy point-of-sale systems slowing you down? Meet Hunger Rush, Ohio's favorite pizza POS. With reliable hardware, an easy-to-use system, and 24/7 customer support, Hunger Rush speeds up your operations and boosts repeat orders by up to 10%. This is the restaurant point-of-sale built for pizza. Easily manage your drivers, easily take orders online, easily train your staff in minutes, and easily make modifications. Need to talk to a real person? That's easy too. Top Ohio pizzerias are winning with Hunger Rush. Solutions to help you streamline service, optimize workflows, and maximize profits. Join the thousands of successful restaurants transforming their operations with Hunger Rush for $0 down and $0 a month. Tools for menu management, marketing, customer engagement, and increased upsells, all in one simple platform. That's Hunger Rush, Ohio's favorite pizza POS. Schedule your free no-obligation demo at ohiopos.com. ohiopos.com. ohiopos.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Buddy Wells, hitting on a couple of scores from last night as we had a pair of top 25 teams on the gridiron. In Eugene, number 6 Oregon cruises to a 31-10 win over Michigan State. And in Sin City, Syracuse upset number 25 UNLV 44-41 in overtime. As we look ahead to today, there's just one top 25 matchup on this Saturday. That'll be number 9 Missouri and College Station to face number 25 Texas A&M. Kickoff is here shortly at noon. Two other ranked teams will also get underway at noon today. UCLA is in Happy Valley against number 7 Penn State, and SMU is on the road against number 22 Louisville. And in baseball this afternoon, the Guardians host the Tigers today in Game 1 of the Best of 5 ALDS. First pitch is at 1:08. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus. From F-150 to F-750, Valley Ford of Columbus is Ohio's commercial truck headquarters. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
How do you know it's Buckeye Game Day? Because I've ripped my shirt off in celebration. Do you like the Brutus tattoo on my chest? This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. It's As you prepare for another Buckeye football Saturday, one very important question remains. Who's got the heat?
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Let Logan Services bring the heat to your home this season. Free same-day estimates, next-day installation. Logan Services.
All right, welcome back in. Matty Ice, DeVier, Posey, Dane, Sanzenbacher, getting you ready for Ohio State and Iowa. Before we get back to that, fellas, we got to put some heat on somebody. Listen, I'll start this week, and I'm going to go with the 8th-ranked team in the country. I'm going with the Miami Hurricanes. They're taking on Cal. This is one of those just funky situations, right? It's a 10:30 kick our time. You're an East Coast team going all the way across the country.
All the way out there to Palo Alto. Huh?
College game day was there, so you know the fan base is going to be fired up. Cal is 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Ward has been spectacular. Their offense is really good. What's sneaky about this game is that the Cal Bears lead the country in interceptions with 10 this year. So you talk about the flight miles that you had to do. You wonder what the body clock is going to be like for Miami. I don't think they're going to lose this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cal makes it interesting. Miami's well-rounded with what they can do running the ball and throwing the rock, and they have a top 3 Heisman candidate right now. But this is just one of those be careful games, I think, for Miami. So I'm putting the heat on the 8th-ranked Hurricanes going across the country, playing a late kick for them, body clock-wise, dealing with Cal this Saturday night.
That's also one of those, old school, big programs. Weird one that you don't see often.
Yep.
The jersey, the matchup, it'll catch eyeballs. And it's going to bring some juice with it,
no question,
regardless of how good these teams are right now.
And Cal has a sneaky stadium. Their stadium is pretty sweet. Like just the venue, the trees that are the backdrop. It's going to be a beautiful night, and I'm excited that it's college game day, too.
And also, too, one thing I forgot to mention is when you talk about Cal going up against Cam Ward, they have some familiarity with Cam because he played at Washington State. And you look at the last couple years, their defensive coordinator and head coach have cooked up 6 turnovers from Cam Ward. Now, whole new set of weapons, better offensive line in Miami, I get that, but they're familiar with some of his strengths and weaknesses, so that could get interesting.
And speaking of Washington State, my heat this week is on the Washington Huskies.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Against Michigan.
And this is for multiple reasons. Yes, they'll play 7:30 tonight against Michigan, and they'll host Michigan. You know that's a tough place to play. Washington has obviously struggled a little bit in the beginning of the year, but why I think the heat is on them is because Washington is a team coming off being in the national championship game, putting themselves, stepping into the spotlight of the national respect.
This team beat them in the Natty last year.
There's that.
Yeah.
But as a program, right, if you want to step into being one of the big boys, if you want to step into being that conversation, you have a small window to do it. You have a small window where you're relevant, and you need to ride that and then keep capitalizing.
Yep.
If you go from national championship game to falling completely off the map, then you were just a blip.
Yep.
But if you can come in, host a ranked Michigan team, beat them, have a solid year, ride it out. I know they've had a lot of changes, but it's such a big year for Washington to stay up that they've got to be feeling some heat this week.
It's a good call, Dane. I like that.
I like that one. And they did play each other. It's a national championship rematch.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So they should be motivated. I'm going to step out of college football if that's okay. The schedule to me was pretty blah, blah, blah.
It is. It's one of those, if I need a nap type of Saturdays, I can take a nap, honestly.
You guys took all of the ones that I would pick. So I'm going to go to the Cleveland Browns, have the heat, and more specifically, Deshaun Watson. The Browns are 1-3. They're playing against the Commanders, and Jaden Daniels, who I believe has the best, clear, most view at the Rookie of the Year. I think if Deshaun Watson goes head-to-head with a rookie quarterback, and this rookie is already outperforming him stats-wise going into this game, record-wise, stats-wise, efficiency-wise, I think the Browns might have to ask themselves, is this time to where, hey, we go draft a Jalen Milroe, we go get a Cam Ward, we go get a Quinn Ewers, we go get a Miller Moss, a Shador. Is it time to move on because you got the reigning coach of the year? I don't think that's the problem. I don't think it's a Schwartz issue. I think and he couldn't really control what management did with Deshaun. I think his spotlight, like this could be like the ball at the top of the hill of, hey, man, you just came and got outperformed by a rookie. It might be time to move on. So I'm putting the heat on Deshaun Watson from the Browns.
I'm not mad at that call at all. And this is a massive week for both the Browns and the Bengals. Bengals got to deal with the Ravens, and then obviously you just laid out who the Browns are dealing with. Commanders' defense is 27th in the league, so you should be able to get busy against them.
3-1, no.
Jaden Daniels has been awesome, right? To your point, he leads the NFL in completion percentage, so that will be definitely a fascinating thing. And you mentioned some of the names around the sport right now at the collegiate level with just what Jalen Milroe is able to do. You guys talked about Ryan Williams earlier, but Jalen Milroe is just turning into a dude, man. This guy down there at Alabama just can really cook you with his legs, but the deep ball threat that he has is real. He was one of the best deep ball throwers in the country last year, and now he's doing that again. And so it will be interesting. Like, you look at that game a week ago, Carson Beck and his draft status maybe took a little bit of a hit, but the second half,
he looked great.
Was really good. It reminded me a lot. You remember the playoff game from Trevor Lawrence a couple years ago where he threw like 4 picks in the first half and then came back out and got it together. That shows that resilience.
But with Carson Beck on that point, I do feel that Trevor Lawrence, like I see that superhero and then I see that villain. Like it's like Carson, like you saw the worst of Carson in the first half, and then you could see then he goes for 400, and you're like, but in the NFL you just need somebody a little bit more consistent. But I was pretty upset with Carson again because I had a bet with a local guy, and it was like I had to cut a cigar and light it for him if Alabama like won. I'm pissed about that. Like, I'm not showing up to that cigar bar now.
I understand. I
was really mad at Carson Beck.
Because, look, they just got punched in the nose right away. I could not believe how that game started. It was 21 Rock just right out of the gate.
They fought, though.
They did fight back. But I guess, you know what, we shouldn't be surprised because we talked about that Kentucky game, right, where they went into Lexington and Kentucky made them sweat it out in that game. So maybe there were some signs there that this Georgia team isn't as dominant as in Ohio State. And Ohio State just, they looked the part with just how complete they are. We'll hit the finish line of the show next with East to West. We'll lay out the Big Ten schedule for this Saturday. You'll hear from Jim Knowles, and we'll give our final thoughts on Iowa and Ohio State. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
North and southbound 315 are definitely seeing more action right now around the Lane and Ackerman Road exits. No major slowdowns once you're on the surface streets. We have some crowded conditions on Lane Avenue. Not a big surprise there. Olentangy River Road has slow spots between Ackerman and Lane and between King and Herrick. On North High Street, you're pretty busy between King and Lane Avenue. And if you're looking for parking, the Ag campus lots are now all full. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited Truck Month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here, and I've been talking about High Bank whiskey for a while now, and I'm not alone. This just in, High Bank Distillery Co. is the most awarded distillery in America for the 2024 San Francisco World Spirits Competition. It's simply the largest spirits competition in the world, and we've got the best right here in Columbus, Ohio. So the next time you're looking for a pour of the good stuff, stop by your local liquor store to grab a bottle, or stop into the 3 restaurant locations in Gahanna, Grandview, or Westerville. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
1 in 3 student athletes gets disturbing messages from sports bettors. This threatens the safety and mental health of college athletes like Tyler.
I'm a student and an athlete. I don't deserve to be threatened over my play. If you're upset about your sports bet, don't take it out on me, because I'm more than a bet.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Start Reaction Monday off in style with Bobby and Beam on Morning Juice. They're talking Buckeyes at 6:20, 7:20, and 8:20, and probably all the other minutes in between.
Reaction Monday is sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like the best-selling RAV4. Now through November 4th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new gas-powered 2024 RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Atlas Butler is built to keep you comfortable, and our plumbing services are no exception. You can rely on Atlas Butler for trusted, convenient plumbing and drain service. Our expert plumbers and drain specialists can take care of anything, from a broken water heater to a clogged drain. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Getting you ready for another Buckeye victory. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. It's the Fan's East to West.
All right, welcome back in. Matty Ice, DeVier, Posey, Dane, Sanzenbacher getting you ready for Ohio State and Iowa. We'll get back to some Buckeye talk here in mere moments, but I got to hit you with the schedule for this evening and afternoon. Last night, speaking of evening, we had a sneaky Big Ten game. I don't think a lot of people were aware of what happened, but Oregon did play last night. They hosted Michigan State. They got out of there with a 31-10 victory. Tough start for them, though, because Dylan Gabriel early in the game throws a couple interceptions. They didn't look that explosive. We know that Michigan State has a young quarterback, so they probably couldn't take advantage of that the way an Ohio State could. But that'll be interesting to see what Jim Knowles and that defense can identify on tape, and maybe that'll show itself in a negative way for Oregon next week. But they get a dub next week, this past Friday night, and that should be a big one next week on the road for Ohio State. Ohio State and Iowa, they kick off at 3:30, but here in about 13 minutes, you'll get UCLA taking on Penn State. Purdue faces Wisconsin. Then 3:30 will be Indiana taking on Northwestern. Rutgers at Nebraska at 4 o'clock. 7:30 kick will be Michigan at Washington, and then the Big Ten schedule will conclude with USC in Minnesota. You touched on Indiana earlier. I'm taking on Northwestern. You brought up Michigan and Washington earlier. Yeah. I think you wanted to bring up Indiana.
I'm saying this now, listeners. Listen. And look, and Dane is shaking his head. His wife, Allie Sanzenbacher, is an Indiana Hoosier alumni. We got to shout out the Hoosiers. Give her her love. Give her them flowers. But Indiana is America's team this year. And the reason why I'm rooting for Indiana is because of Curtis Rourke. I was a MAC, in teams in the MAC. My brother played at Ohio University. I'm Ohio Bobcat when it comes to MAC teams. Curtis Rourke hit the portal from Ohio University to Indiana, and he's done nothing but not thrown an interception this year, thrown countless 300-yard games, and lead the Hoosiers to an undefeated record right now. They're America's team. America's team.
It's a fun story right now.
In Bloomington right now, those striped pants, Dane, what are they called?
You're doing that. You know you're making my home life harder right now, and you're doing it on purpose. They're called candy stripe pants. If you must keep on,
Dane, you're not buying the hype.
Gushing about the.
Are you not buying the hype?
No, I'm.
He's
all
room
about
for Northwestern.
No,
Dane.
I am not. Absolutely
Yes,
not. I am fully behind the Hoosiers. I just the more success they have, the more. My wife, her head's getting a little big with the Hoosiers, and I'm just like, we've got to wait all the way until the end of November until Ohio State gets them. So it's just like, yes, I want them to have all the success.
You want them to be undefeated coming in here? Would you be nervous if they're undefeated coming in here?
Yeah.
I would be nervous. I'd be nervous if they're undefeated coming in. Like,
the more they win, the more my house is filled with Hoosier stuff. The more my son is saying, go Hoosiers. It's just like... So it's great, but it's also, I don't need you hyping it up more.
You need to double check the bookshelf to make sure one of your Ohio State memorabilia things hasn't been replaced.
Yeah, no, it's all. It's all just like it's all just randomly in the basement.
Yeah, it's like a box of stuff. Like
they're doing their thing right now. They're doing their thing right now. It's a fun ride. We'll see. They get Michigan on their schedule as well, so some of the big dogs are coming their way. We'll see how they can handle that. Dane, you mentioned that Michigan and Washington game earlier. Washington is actually favored in that game, so the unranked team is favored in that
crazy.
game.
Yeah.
Just have no idea what this Michigan offense will look like on the road. Michigan's won a couple conference games with Orgy throwing for less than 100 yards. It's just...
Matty, what does that mean, though? Like a number 10 team being the underdog. How does that...
how does that even happen?
How does that happen?
Vegas knows something, and I think what they're telling us is that they don't believe Michigan's offense can run away from anybody. I just don't think when you have that style of play, I think their ceiling is so low, right? But if anybody can throw, and this is tough, if anybody can throw up a brick wall against that run game right now and put the game on Orgy, you're going to give yourself a real shot.
But let me ask you, is this also baked into the cake that I feel like every Michigan game that I've watched this year has been at home? Like they haven't gone on the road yet. Like, right? They had Texas at home, USC at home. Yeah. Who else did they have at home? I feel like they had Will. I feel like I saw the pick six with Will Johnson. Was it Fresno or something like that?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And it's like so. This is their first on the road
across
challenge.
The country.
Right.
Across the country.
And so that's baked into them being the underdog.
No doubt about it, right? I mean, they beat Minnesota by 3 last week at home, and then Washington has a veteran quarterback in Will Rogers who transferred in from Mississippi State that has 10 touchdowns and no picks right now. So could get interesting for sure. Sneaky game for me real quick is that Rutgers and Nebraska game. Rutgers and Nebraska. Nebraska dropped
Rutgers
the game.
Is America's team,
They're
too.
4-0, and Nebraska's 4-1, so that could be a fun game.
You got to buy into the lower Big Ten.
He doesn't like when you say that.
Well, you know what I like?
You should say everybody's America's team.
Well, here's the thing. There's all parts of America. There's different demographics. But here's what I'm saying. I like that teams that were in the Big Ten are doing better than the new teams.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean?
I think it's a refreshing thing in this twist or in this change of conference that we thought that surely those new teams, the big boys would come dominate, and we haven't seen it yet. And in fact, we've seen a lot of Big Ten teams that haven't had historical success still playing really, really well.
Holding it down.
And even Illinois, they're doing well. They only have one loss now, right? I mean, so
they put up some good stuff on tape, that's for sure. Let's hear from Jim Knowles before we give our final thoughts on the game. Here he is on, giving up some yards and points in the first half, but getting their act together coming out of halftime.
We started slow, the past couple weeks, and I blame myself for that. Right? Again, it's there are thousands of permutations of what can happen. Right? So that's exactly like I said. It's like, hey, I'm predicting this. They did that. Okay. Well, that guy's supposed to know that. That's part of his job. But then you go back to, well, how many times did I really practice that? How many times did I show that guy that technique versus that play or that route?
Tyreek Williams looks like he's going to go in this one. That's massive. That dude's an absolute stud. This game for me, when you talk about Tyreek Williams, Tywone Malone, Caden McDonald, the big body guys in the middle of that defensive line, they have to have, I think, good games to really impose their will on this Iowa rushing attack. Dane, hit me with your final thoughts and your final score on the game.
My final thoughts on Iowa, and I mentioned to Adam King earlier, Coach Farron's comments about, which poison pill you want to take when you're trying to stop this Ohio State offense. Is it going to be trying to shut down the pass game or trying to shut down the run game? Yeah. And I actually think the smart money and what they will try to do is make it difficult to pass because they think the run game defense is their strength. Mm-hmm. And at very least, it's the slower way for Ohio State to score, right? So I think they're going to try to make Ohio State run the ball to beat them, going against their strength, and then, like you said, try to lean on their run game on offense to try to make something happen. I'm terrible at the scores, as I say every week. Yeah. I do think the Buckeyes will cover, though. What are we, 18 points?
It was right around 18. It ticked down kind of over the last few days. And last time I looked, it was right around 18.
I do. I just think they're healthy, and they obviously have so many weapons, but there's no real chink in the armor right now.
Depot, final thoughts on the game, my man.
Buckeye listeners, don't be fooled. This isn't your typical Iowa team. They're scoring 30 points. They're getting NCAA violations. These guys are
it's the mark of a champion
rogue right now. So I'm trying to. I don't know what we're in for today. I do expect a classic Big Ten battle. I don't expect the Buckeyes to be off to a hot start and everybody's like, please don't text my phone if it's a tight first half, guys. Like, it's okay. It's Big Ten play. This is what happens in Big Ten play. So it's going to be a tight game. I mean, but I do expect the Buckeyes to show that we're deep. We have more depth. Last week I lost my – so we have more depth. We can play at a longer pace. We can play harder than these guys. And we can play faster than these guys at football in our stadium. So I'm excited to
at football,
to watch these guys play.
I agree with what Dane was saying, right? Because this could be the Will Howard game. They're going to try to – Wiggins, they have a great linebacker. Their linebackers are really good, talking about Iowa's defense. But I look at their pass defense when it comes to yards allowed per game through there, ranked 69th. And we know Ohio State has the weapons. Fellas, another one in the books right there. The sun is shining. We'll chop it up next week about the big game against the Oregon Ducks. Going to hand it over to my man Anthony Rothman and Andy Katzenboyer and the great Tim May. Folks, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week. This has been the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. Visit Riverside Bank and experience the strength of local.
Both north and southbound 315 are continuing to build in volume between North Broadway and King Avenue on both sides. On the surface streets, it's also busy on High Street between Lane and 10th. Olentangy River Road has slow spots between Lane and Herrick. Kenny Road has more traffic between Woody Hayes and Lane. And the parking lots are full on the Egg campus. Those are parking lots off of Woody Hayes and Fife Road. With game day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Football fans, are you ready to score big this NFL season? Matty Ice here to tell you that Bud Light and 97.1 The Fan have teamed up for the ultimate football face-off. Join us each week for football face-off events and your chance to win a trip to Vegas where you'll compete for the grand prize, a trip for two to New Orleans for the Super Bowl. Drink Bud Light, enjoy the games, and take your shot at football glory. This week, join me on Sunday at O'Nelly's, the Dolphins backer bar in Lewis Center. For the Dolphins-Patriots game, I'll be there from 2 to 4 p.m. to give you a shot at going to the Super Bowl.
Football is built on tradition, and so is the Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. With a lifetime powertrain warranty on every vehicle purchase, you know you're getting a relationship that's built to last. Need service? Our Carvenience service takes care of everything, from picking up your vehicle to dropping it off when it's done, leaving you with a rental car in between. And with 4 dealerships and a collision center, Hinderer Motor Company is your one-stop shop for all things automotive. Visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The Ohio State University Army ROTC is open for enrollment and has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just a slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Buying a truck for your business doesn't have to be a time-consuming experience. Valley Ford of Columbus makes it easy with a dedicated commercial truck center and the best inventory in Ohio. Valley has the selection to fit your needs exactly. Here's just one example. 2024 Ford F-250s with $5,000 off MSRP and as low as 1.9 APR. Tell them I sent you and keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus, the official dealership of Carnell Tate and T-Bone, for whatever that's worth. Valley Ford of Columbus. More details, valleyfordofcolumbus.com.